Howdy everyone, I hope you're doing well. Now, oh my god, I feel like everything that's going on with Ashes of Creation right now is absolutely cooked. Like things cannot get any more wild than this. I am probably like most people in the MMO genre, we're pretty keen for Ashes of Creation, we're pretty hyped. Seeing all the content, the nodes, the classes, the combat, it was good. I've just released a video earlier today about Guild Wars 2 talking about the tab target and action combat hybrid, and I thought Ashes of Creation doing a pretty similar thing. You know, you can have your attacks bound to your left mouse button, you've got your skills, you've got your action camera, you've got the reticule in the center. I just thought that this was, you know, a company, I should say, that understood what was going on. But that's not the case. Ashes of Creation is fucked. And to think that all it took was let's hold up for a second. Like, it's not really all it took. These people, Steven, had no idea what he was doing, clearly, in terms of running a company, which is interesting because he's got that businessy background, and I know people have been saying that it's more of a MLM scheme thing, and that's probably what's happened. Doesn't know how to run a business, but he knows how to run I should say, less than ethical business. But I've been going through some of the comments on things, looking at some of the stuff today, and I've just seen this image, and oh my god, like, what is this? This is apparently was in the NFSQ's stream recently, which I'll put a link to in the description. You should definitely go watch that. He speaks to I think he was one of the board members, his name was Jason, but look at this. My goal, this is from Steven, apparently. You know, you never know these days. My goal is maximum accountability. I'm glad to see Jason commenting and sharing as much as he is. I think you're doing a great job with Nefis QS. Thank you so much for that. It obviously would not make sense for me to fight a battle in court of public opinion when the truth will come out obviously in court. Oh, yeah, we'll see how we go. Federal court is not like state court. There is a higher burden of factual proof required. I would not sign my name to that document if I was not certain of the truthfulness. I don't know. We kinda... I think it's a tough one. 100% he's going to say everything always to defend himself. And he might have some genuine evidence that sort of, you know, backs his side up as this victim. But I'm not going to say that he's 100% going to be in the right. Even probably maybe even 60% in the right. You know, they had these stories that, what is it? Here we go. Where he makes the limited statement about what's happened with the board. Part of that looks a little bit iffy. Like, come on, like, there's no way. Okay, let me take a quick little tangent. There was that statement where I think it was in one of the streams where he resigned, and then so did the rest of the team resign, and he sort of put it on himself that he was the victim in this because it's the board making these decisions. You know, control of the company shifted away from me, and the board began directing actions that I could not ethically agree with or carry out. I understand I've seen some stuff where it was the Steam was not his decision. He didn't want Steam. He understood that it was probably going to be a bad idea for the game, and it probably was in terms of, you know, how it was perceived in the community. Like, there's enough going on with Ashes of Creation where it's like, it's a bit iffy, but then you're going to put it out into basically the public, and I understand the point of view where that's the release, and therefore, you know, that's him getting out of any sort of obligations to pay back those Kickstarter backers who, when he's made that statement that, oh, if we fail to launch, they'll refund the backers back in full. And, like, that's just not happening. Like, I really do not think that that's going to happen. But now we're at this point where, what's next? He seems to be putting out this idea that, oh, you know, he's a victim. He's going to be able to somehow... I get the vibe that he thinks he can save the game. He thinks he can save Intrepid. I don't think he can. I do not think at all. I don't think he'd have to be wild to think that somehow this game is savable. I want it to be savable. I was really looking forward to it. I never bought it. I was really tempted to buy it last year, but I decided to wait. And then it came to Steam, and I was like, maybe now because it's cheaper. But look where we are. I don't think it's worth buying. I think it's just this wild situation. And I've also just seen this on the Reddit, and 100% Narc was right. I didn't make this picture, but I think we should all agree that Narc knew something was going on. I think when he made that final video, the community reaction to it and how everyone turned against him, and I myself was a little bit skeptical about the way that he positioned the storyline, you know, the desert expansion and how it wasn't really much of an expansion, and he showed sort of that empty desert where in actual fact some parts of the desert had been worked on. But at the end of the day, like, Narc was right in the fact that they were just doing vertical slices, and I think most people could probably agree that that's, you know, pretty obvious that they were doing vertical slices. But the fact that, you know, I feel like a lot of people assumed when we saw like that trade caravan, like a stream, that that's the state of the game. That's where we're actually at. That's not true. So I think Narc, he needs to come back. He needs to make a video. Like, praise the gods if Narc makes a video. Like, this man, like, this is his redemption arc. Like, rising out of the ashes, this man should come back. Because he was right about a lot of stuff, and we should listen to him. But you know how it is. I'm interested to see what goes on after this image here. We'll have to double check in. Where is it? Get it back to this one. We'll have to check in to see if this means anything. I know Kira released a video earlier today, or might have been yesterday, going through some of the lawsuit, and I'll put a link to that in the description as well, so you should definitely go watch that. But watch this video here from NefesQS. Watch the one from Kira. I reckon also, I watched Asmongold's reaction to the Narc one, but if you watch any sort of reaction to Narc, that way you can sort of get it in your mind again about what he actually said and what he was onto well before some of these other people. But we'll see what happens in the next few days. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll try and keep an eye out for some more Ashes of Creation content. Until then, catch ya. Bye.